Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Tracy and this is the second part of our They're Brave and Exhausted, a restorative yoga series. So today we'll do shoulder and chest opening. So just make sure, especially if you have any shoulder injuries or you have tightness there, that you're sensitive and aware and you make the best decisions for your body right now. It's restorative and we are going to use some props. There's lots of ways to modify. First, if you have two yoga blocks or two block-like things that are about the same height, that will be useful. As well as a blanket, just any blanket that you wish. We're going to use this first to start. And I'm very lucky to have a yoga bolster at my disposal, but if you do not have a bolster, any sort of flat-like pillow will also do. And just for the goodies, if you have an eye mask, that can be nice as well. And just make sure you're warm, have socks on or a sweater. Make sure that you feel comfortable. So like I said, we're going to start with the blanket. And you'll either decide to have a pillow or a bolster towards the end of your mat. That would be for your feet. So the blanket, you kind of want to make like a long, skinny shape. So this is my blanket folded in half. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. Let's do that. And then when I get it laid down, I'm going to fold it into thirds. So two, I guess. So I kind of have like this skinny-ish flat blanket. And when you lay down, essentially what's going to happen is you're going to have your shoulders and head off of the blanket, and then right below the shoulders is going to be on the blanket. And then you'll adjust the pillow or padding for the foot as necessary. So it's kind of just the midline part of the body that's supported. So the tailbone should more or less be off as well of the blanket, and the complete shoulder blade, the scapula as well. And if you're not quite getting this, then that's fine. You don't particularly, it's a very loud plane. We don't normally get planes that loud. I don't know if you can hear that, but you don't need to use the blanket. It's just a nice way to open up the chest. So make sure you have some support for the feet. And then lots of options here. If you can have your arms out to a T. You could just rest your hands on your body. See if you could tuck the shoulders, kind of roll them towards each other a little bit. Closing your eyes. We won't be in this first one long, just taking a few minutes to presence ourselves, to settle in. So maybe see what it's like to take a few audible sighs out your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. And then another one. And the last one. And as you seal your lips and you start to breathe in and out through your nose, let everything on the back side of the body be very weighted and very heavy. See if you can relax your head, shoulders, hands. And even though there's this little mini back bend for the belly to lift through the low back, could there be weight in the tailbone, the backs of the legs? the heels. All the expressions melting off the face. If your mind is still reeling about with what's to come or what's already happened, it's not really a big deal. I almost imagine my mind as this little hamster wheel. It just spins and spins. And my breath is like this soft touch onto that hamster wheel to slow it down. Smooth, even, steady breaths that gently coax the hamster wheel, maybe not to a stop, but to a steady, calm presence. And start to attach your awareness to your breath. You can put some movement back into your fingers and toes. You're going to bend your knees and bring them feet to the floor. Feel that grounding of the big toe, every toe to the heel. And when you're ready, start to roll onto a side. Just rest your head and your arm like you were in a fetal position. No rush to go anywhere, to get anything done. When you're ready, let's come to a seat. Just nice and slow. You can move your blanket just a little bit out of the way and send your legs out in front of you and take a little windshield wiper. Just moving the legs from side to side. And before we come into the next restorative, we're going to just move a tiny bit. So what I want you to do is have your knees facing over to the right. So the right knee And then you'll tuck the left foot slightly behind you, and kind of the sole of your right foot is to the inside of the left thigh. Now turn your torso over your right knee. So your left hip is lifted up off the ground most likely, and that's fine. We're going to do what's called dolphin dives. And so there's this opening through the chest and shoulders. So your hands can be down, you can be on your fingertips or plant your palms. Your torso is kind of leaning over this right diagonal. Now as you inhale, think that you're coming into cow. So shoulders move back, let your heart lift. And then as you exhale, you'll round into your spine, let your low belly hug in, and you'll fold your head towards your knee. And then as you inhale, lift, draw the shoulders back. And then exhale, round in. And you're welcome to do this with closed eyes. And you're also welcome to do just a slight breath retention on this. So as you inhale, lift up and just pause your breath. And then when you're ready to exhale, round in, forehead towards the knee. And again, pause the breath just long enough to know it's there. And inhale. So whether you decided to work with the breath retention or not, take a few rounds just at your own pace. Let's do one more round. Slowly, in your own time, you'll come back upright. Just lift the torso. Let your right fingertips be on the ground, right fingertips face away. Reach your left arm up, and then we'll just lean over to the right. And then a few times with this left hand, could you turn from your heart, your shoulder, and let it face down towards the floor. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, roll open, maybe a little bit to the sky. Couple like that. Your right elbow can be bent. Come back through neutral, press all the way up. Unwind your legs. Once again, just a little windshield wiper. Let the knees sway from side to side. So we'll do dolphin dives on the other side, which I love the name of that. So knees face the left foot tucks to the inside of the right thigh, right hip is most likely lifted, and we've turned the chest and the heart over the left knee. You can be on your fingertips, you can ground your hands. Inhale, move the shoulders back, let the heart lift. Exhale, dive down, round into the shoulders, soften in. Inhale all the way up. Exhale. Once again, if you want to add breath retention, inhale. Pause the breath, just notice. And when you're ready to exhale, round in once more. Decide to pause breath or not. Keep going at your own pace. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. And simply remember there's no wrong way to be here. With whatever you have going on, both in and outside of the body, there's no wrong way to be here. And one more. Slowly rise up. So left hand will stay down, left fingertips reach away, reach the right arm up, And then you'll start to lean over. Now I gotta bend my left elbow to get a little bit deeper into this, but if you want it straight, that's fine. And then rotate the shoulders, they face down, heart faces down, breathe in. And then exhale, rotate shoulders and turn up. Once again, you're welcome to have your eyes closed. One more time. And rise all the way up. Now unwind your feet. Windshield wiper. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart. Bring your hands to your ankles. You want a diamond shape, so you're not trying to tuck the heels in too close. Inhale one more time. Let the shoulders drag down the back, let the heart lift. And then exhale, round back, low belly hugs in. Just do a few at your pace. Last one. Come back up through neutral. Draw the knees in towards each other. And we're going to work on our second restorative pose. So this is where we need those two blocks that are around the same height. Well, actually you want them to be exactly the same height. So hopefully you found that. And we're going to do a shoulder opener on our bellies. So if your shoulders are relatively tight, and I think, most of us are doing this a lot of the day, and so this will just help roll the shoulders back and to get them feeling settled and to open the chest. So if the shoulders are tight, you might have your blocks or your block-like objects on lowest setting. If you want a little bit more, and again, this is restorative, so remember you don't need to push it, you could have them up on that medium height. Now you're going to take your blanket and open it up, and I'll show it this way just for a second. You want slack in between because that's where your head's going to go. So when I lay down my blanket, you see that I have slack in between the two. So I'm not trying to have it tight. I'm just going to shift this. And we want the blocks about shoulder distance apart because they're going to go for the tips of the shoulders. Now, make sure you've got your slack. And take your time coming into this. When I lay down, I'm going to put the tips of my shoulder blades on these blocks. And I prefer having my palms face up. Some people like them facing down, so I feel like that's just a personal preference. And make sure they're just right on the tips of the shoulders. And if the forehead doesn't comfortably come to the floor, if you have that blanket, you can kind of see if you can fold it up a little bit so there's more lift for your forehead. So take your time. Bringing blocks on low or medium. Palms facing up or down. If your low back gets pinched, you can put your big toes together and let your knees or your heels veer apart from each other, and that can release some tension on the low back. As you start to settle in, just let parts of your body become heavier that tend to hold. Feel the breath moving in and out of the body. You might imagine that hamster wheel. And just use your breath to slow it down, to let things settle. A few more breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to stay on our bellies. Just lift your head and move your block package, blankie package forward. You can pad your hands and let your head soften back in. Notice any waves of sensation that come back to the body. Don't keep the left leg as it is and bend the right knee, letting the right knee go out to the side. So the inside of the right knee is on the floor and the sole of the right foot is touching somewhere on the left leg, inside of the leg. This is called sleeping baby. Just a couple of breaths. And begin to unwind the right leg. Sleeping baby on the other side. Left knee bends, sole of the foot to the inside of the leg. Make sure the inside of your left knee is touching the floor. Unwind that knee. Put your hands down underneath your shoulders. Let's press into a tabletop, just nice and easy. You can round into your spine if you want the cat. And then release that. So our final pose for Shavasana today will be a lifted, supported chest and slightly elevated legs. So let's do the blanket first. What will happen is this time, instead of going sideways, the blanket will be supporting the spine. So I'm gonna have my blanket pretty long. Once again, it's simply been folded in half. And then I'm gonna fold it in half again. And then I'm going to make almost like a pyramid shape. So from one long end, I'll do a little fold. So I'll move it forward and then I'll shift it back. So you see and then I'm going to shift it back one more time. So you see this pyramid shape, and this skinny edge is going to be supporting my spine. So I'll lay this out. Quite long, so that'll be nice for my head. And then either your bolster or your blanket will be for behind the knees. And if you want to give it just like an extra little tuck or fold, you're welcome to do that. If you have your eye mask or any sort of covering for the face that you want to use, you can do that. So when you lay down, bring your tailbone right to the edge of your blanket. And then lean forward and make sure that the tailbone again is still touching the blanket. So that when you lay down, your hips are not on the blanket, but the spine, should feel good. It's supported. If it doesn't feel good, that just means it's not for you right now. And you could always forego the blanket and simply have a support for the backs of the legs. If you have your eye mask and you want to use it, Put that on. Let your arms be out to the sides, palms face up. Sometimes I lift my chest up a little, I roll my shoulders towards each other, and then soften back down towards my support. You want this to feel right. This innate intelligence that we all possess. Not so much a good or a bad, but does this feel right? And if it doesn't feel right, then make sure you adjust and that you feel safe and supported and comfortable. See if you can relax your head, the space between the brows, the jaw. Can you soften the right shoulder, the upper right arm, the lower right arm, the right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, and fifth finger. See if you can relax the left shoulder, the upper left arm, the lower left arm, the left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, and fifth finger. See if you can soften your belly, relaxing the right hip, the upper right leg, the lower right leg. Relax the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Relaxing the left hip and the upper left leg, the lower left leg, the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. The whole body relaxed. The whole body completely relaxed. Start to come back by paying attention to your breath. Little movements. Come back to the body. Bend your knees to bring your feet to the floor, to your supports. Feel that. And if you have a blanket on the spine, go ahead and roll off of that as you roll to a side. Coming all the way back to a seat. Just in your own time. Let's all take a full breath in and a full breath out. Thank you all so very much for practicing with me today. Be well.